Welcome back everybody. Right, today's video is only a short one. It's I put you a little bit of in the picture of what's happened and why this video occurs. Is we have an American fridge freezer down. Well, we did have an American fridge freezer downstairs. We'd had it a lot of years, and we had it covered from domestic and general with a policy, you know, warranty policy every month. And we had them out to it when they put new ice tray in and this and other. But barring that, it's been absolutely fine. And it's one that's always delivered crushed ice from a dispenser. That's like in the door, crushed ice cubes, and also filtered drinking water. And it's inset, so you can put your cup in it and leave it there if you want. If it drips at all, it drips into a little drip tray which you can pull out and empty it. Absolutely brilliant. Now we had a crack in the ice maker inside the dispenser, and when they came, he just said, no, we can't get one. It's no good. So they terminated the policy and said, go online, as they've always done with all his appliances. They've replaced it, and they said choose from various ones. So I went online, and originally one of the fridge freezers that were on, and you can upgrade, so you had two to get a better one. But one of the fridge freezers was I believe they pronounce it Hisense or that way, and it had one of these with a fancy TV screen on, did the ice making and all that lot, filtered water, and it had a big screen on the right hand door, and ours was two big doors that opened, freezer in left, fridge it right, and top to bottom freezer. This was two opening doors at the top, full fridge, no partition in between, and freezer in drawers at the bottom. And I said to the wife, she said, I don't want black, I want silver. Anyway, I looked at the price of this with the screen on the door, and it was a penny short of £2,000, and I thought, no additional fees. And I thought, and I said, well, I'll have a look. So I rang them and I said, have you got any more that we can look at? Yeah, she sent me a load through where you can add and this and other. And I said to wife, I said, not really out on. I said the equivalent to that, which is slightly cheaper, Samsung. I said they're wanting just over £1,000, £1,100, something like that. You had to put two, and you could have this freezer. And I thought, well, I'm not doing that. Now remember, our fridge freezer had one of them doors in the fridge part, and you can drop it down, just get your milk out or a cool drink, and put it on a tray in front, and then shut it back up when you finish with it. So all good and well. Some did, this didn't, because it had a TV screen. Anyway, wife said, no, you better go for that one. I went back on, they'd taken it off. Obviously it was a mistake. So anyway, cut long story short, I picked another one, and it was a Hisense one. I had to put about £175 to, and it's the same, two opening doors at the top. This is in a dark silver, and it's, as I say, it's a massive fridge. It's a lot bigger than the one we had, because there's no partition down the middle. The top is a complete fridge. It's huge. I will show you it. And the freezer is a big flat door you pull out at the bottom, and then you've got inner doors. It has a drinks dispenser on the door. It doesn't give ice there, or crushed ice. What it does do, it creates ice cubes and puts them into a little tub inside the freezer, all automatic. And I thought, that sounds pretty good, because the other ice makers, and apparently it's a common fault with them all, is when it fills up with ice inside, it's continually tipping it and filling the container up on the left hand freezer door inside. It all sticks together, so then the ice can't come out, it jams. It's a common problem. Ours has done it from day one, and when it was new. So This is brilliant. You just open the top drawer, take some ice cubes out, and you can stop the ice maker whenever you want. I couldn't do that on the other one. It was continually making it until it had filled up, and then it would stop. But if we're going away on holiday, then you want to be able to stop your ice maker and empty your bucket, and then you start it off again when you come back. You can do this. It's one of the functions on it. Plus, this fridge is Wi-Fi. I can alter things, temperatures from my phone, so it makes it a little bit easy, but you can do it on the screen. However, what this video is about is, as good as the fridge is, and the freezer is, and the drinks dispenser, and the ice maker, the problem you've got is this has an inbuilt filter inside. Okay, now when you first get it and it's plumbed in, this is plumbed in ours, and the other one was, so it's just a connection of the pipe work, is you've got to flush it through to get all the air out of the system. And I didn't know till the other day we were using it, and the downfall, and a lot of them are like this now, is the drinks dispenser on the front that gives you chilled water. When you operate it, it's a big flat switch, which I will show you. You've no drip tray. You've a little, about an inch ledge, which is absolutely ridiculous. Why they haven't put a drinks tray on, a drip tray on, I have no idea. And what happens is, as we found out, is I come to go in the fridge one day, the freezer, and the handles are inset in the top. There's no handles on the front, they're inset in the top, and I put my hand in the thing and it's got water in it. I thought, why is it? And there's some water on the floor. Now, all water systems, you won't notice it, but you will on these type of machine fridge freezers, is you get natural water coming through your pipe work. You get that in any house. You'll get water, but you don't see it. It don't make any odds, does it? However, it does. It's one of the faults, and it's one that when you're fault finding, it comes up, is make sure you've got all the air out of the system. So you get air accumulate, and it accumulates somewhere in the system, God only knows. So you operate the water, you get your water out, and you can set it 150 mil, 250 mil, or continuous, and it's pretty accurate what it gives you. However, you walk away, what you don't realise is, because there's air in the system somewhere, it somehow comes out and it starts to tap the nozzle dripping, and you end up with water all down the front. And we noticed this the other day, it was on the floor, and I thought, no, don't tell me we've got a fault with the damn thing, it's new. So I went online, this is when I found out, make sure you haven't got air in the system. So I run a jug full of water off, and it stopped. And I thought, I can't believe, there's no way this little tray that's there, and I'll show you, I'll also put a picture on of the fridge freezer that we've got. It's no way that them drips are going to drip in that, and they don't really drip in it because of the angle of the little nozzle inside. It drips and runs down the front, and then it runs into your handle, and then down the front and onto the floor. And when it does drip, it lets quite a bit of water out, so you have to bleed it, and when you bleed it, it stops for a while, like it hasn't done it now for a few days. However, I won't having this, so I set to, and I've designed a magnetic drip tray, and it works an absolute treat. Why Hisense or whoever manufactures these don't come up with a magnetic drip tray like this that you can just put on? It's brilliant. I mean, it really is. It catches all the water, any drips, it catches it. There's nothing goes down the front of the freezer. You just take it off, empty it out, and put it back on. And I can see this happening quite a lot with air in the system, because you can't stop it, it comes through the pipe work. But for some reason, this is bleed the system. Well, how can you bleed the system? It'll accumulate air again, and then at some stage it'll start to drip until it's lost that air, and then it'll stop. But where does it go? It goes all down the front of the fridge, all down the freezer door, in the handle at the top, I just think it's a lovely fridge freezer, American fridge freezer, but the fault is it doesn't have a drip tray, and they should have, because it's how it's designed. And for God's sake, what I've done, they could have done a magnetic drip tray. But what I'll do is I'll show you on my computer the components that I've designed and how it works, and then what I'll do is I'll take it down to the fridge and I'll show you it in. Do apologise for that, I've got a message through on my phone. What I'll do is I'll take it downstairs and I'll show you in situ. I'll show it before if I can. Obviously the plate's there, the magnetic plate, but you'll have to just ignore that and imagine what it is like, and then I'll show you how easy it is. And I had a colour, it's only made out of PLA, but it's 3D printed and it looks the part. It don't look really anything that shouldn't be there. It looks really good, so I could have done with probably a little bit darker metallic grey, but I ain't grumbling, wife's over the moon with it. So, but what I'll do is I'll take you to the computer and I'll show you the components that I've made. Right, here we are at the Fusion 360. Now as you can see, this is the base part. It contains two magnets, and the magnets are approximately, I think, about 30mm by 10mm by 3mm. So they actually just super glued in here are the magnets, but this is the bottom side. Okay, so if I turn it over, that's all you see from the top, and because the wall from where the magnets is only thin, the magnets still work through the plastic. Okay, now this is, you see what I mean, there is double-sided tape on there. It's good quality stuff on there, because what I can't do is I can't secure something permanently, because that would affect the warranty. So this is just put on, and the adhesive tape will come straight off. So you can imagine that's like that, and that's how it's actually, I'll just slow it down, that's how it's sat. So your drinks unit is up there like that, with your button there and your tap at the top, and that is sat in the inset, in the little alcove. And you can tell how deep the alcove is. I'll just show you. That is 17mm. So you tell me what water is going to be caught in 17mm depth, and it's about 1mm deep is inside. It's ridiculous, really. Okay, so that's the base plate, that's what holds the magnetic drip tray on. Okay, so I'll close that and I'll show you the drip tray. That is the drip tray. Okay, get that, that's from the front, and that's what it looks like. Okay, and if you look underneath, it's got magnets in there. Alright, there's nothing on the inside, you can't see the magnets, because you don't want water to actually touch the metal of the magnets. You might end up with a bit of corrosion or something, I don't know. So they're underneath, they're just super glued in, so they sit on top of the other plate. Okay, and that catches, believe me, it works an absolute treat. Why ANSI could not design something like this? If you didn't want it on, fine, but give you the facility to put it there and have something. I don't know, it's beyond me. Such a good item, and then this is what they do. So I 3D printed it off, it's in PLA, and I did it on the Bamboo Labs A1, and it printed out an absolute treat. I made a couple. First one I tried, it's the same, the first one, except I moved the magnets a little bit. I wanted to get the back wall there nearer to the back wall of the drinks opening, the dispenser opening. So I just moved the magnets forward a bit more, which takes that back. But basically that's it. So I've got two in case one gets broke. and I did them in a couple of different colours, but I like the one that's on the machine now. So but what I'll do is I'll take it down in the kitchen and I'll show you the fridge freezer. What an excellent fridge freezer it is. You can't fault that, but this is a big letdown for me, absolute big letdown. And it's dripped a few times now. No more down the door, no more on the floor. When you get air in, it drips into here. Okay, so all I'll do is I'll take you downstairs and show you the fridge freezer, what I've fitted. Right, here we are at the Hisense American fridge freezer. Okay, I'll show you what the what it's like first. I was telling you what a cracking fridge freezer it is. Just look at the space inside here. Absolutely massive. There's 4 drawers at the bottom, trays in the doors. It's massive, it really is. And in the top corner, you can see up there, that is the water filter. Okay, and it's inbuilt, you don't have to worry about it. And I wondered how they get it with no partitioning. That's the answer. That's how it works. You can put that in like that, and if you open that door, there's no handles on it, so I use the top mainly. And if you watch it up there, it'll click in and go around in there. You see that? That goes around there. So when that door closes, it shuts against it. Okay, so that's the fridge. Won't show it drinks dispenser. This is the freezer part. You can see big drawer at bottom, this drawer, okay, and you have a top drawer, and that is your ice bucket, a little scoop, and your unit is, you can just see that there, that makes the ice. Okay, and that is turned off at the moment. You can see I turn that off, don't need it, it's full. So okay, so that's the fridge freezer in general. Okay, now when I said to you the handle fills with water, this is what I mean. In here you can see that. Okay, when that's shut, and this is the drinks dispenser, 150 mils, sorry, it's 500 mils, not 250, and continuous. Okay, and that's the nozzle, that's the button you press. Just look at that, that is 17 mil. Now that is the base plate that I showed you upstairs. That is just double-sided tape on that, and it's sat there. And there's a little, about the size of this plastic, inset inside here, and that is about 1 mil deep. When that drips, it hits here, runs down here, fills this up, or depending on how much comes out, it runs all down the floor and on the door. It's an absolute, to me, it's an absolute shocking design. If you get a lot of air coming through your system, for some reason when it's in the system it makes this drip, so you have to, I've done it 3 times now, you have to take a couple of litres of water out, which gets the air out, and it stops for a good few days, a week, but sure enough it'll start again. And I thought, well, I'm not happy with this, so I was going to get them back, but when I read the faults, it's air in the system, and you can get, if working down the road you get air in the system because I've opened the main up, next thing you know it'll come through your fridge freezer. So if you haven't got it out by using your taps and you use this, you can get air in here. Okay, so lo and behold, this is my design for my drink tray. There you go. You look at that, it don't look out of place, it looks as though it should be there when it's full, and this drips in here. It's cut out the front to allow, if you've got a big cup here, although it does go out at an angle, you can put a big cup and rest it on that. Okay, that's magnetic, it won't fall off, and as you can see, it's close up at the back, because sometimes you get a bit, when it drips, you get a bit of water come down here, and it drips off now into here. That's why I moved the magnet slots a little bit forward to push that back. And that's it. Take it, empty it, put it back on. That's it. Why ANSI on such a lovely fridge freezer? It's a lot bigger than the other one that we had. Why they haven't designed something that goes on like that, I do not know. It's cost me about £2 to make that. No, about £3 with the 4 magnets. But yeah, but I don't know whether anybody else has had any problems with it out there, but you know, that's my answer to it, and it cures it. And I just hope that other people have, other people out there might have a 3D printer. I have no idea. But all these are buttons. You can just press that. You can hear it beep if you put it on. Ice maker, you can knock it on and off. I've already done it on the app. But you can see, I mean, this is a touch panel, but you can see, I can see slight, because it's a touch panel. Look, see little dents in it. You know, and it shows you Wi-Fi up there, and I don't know if you can see it. You might be able to just see that. You see Wi-Fi symbol up there, temperature at fridge, temperature at freezer, and you can alter it, but alarms on it and all this lot. Yeah, such a good bit of kit, and it lets it down with that drip tray. Yeah. That's ending of this video really. It was just a little bit of a quick video to show all what comes new. Great design, fantastic thought that's been put into it, and yet this lets it down. If anybody else is having the same problem, in the comments, air in the system, it dripping constantly, or people that have got dripping and haven't realised that's what causes it, air in the system. I'm not saying 100% of the time. You might have a fault with the I don't know, but on this occasion, because it's new, you bleed a couple of litres out in a jug, it stops dripping for a number of days. But sure enough, depending what air comes through the system, somewhere it's storing it, I presume the filter somehow, I don't know, eventually it'll pick up, get to the nozzle, you'll get water, you'll stop the water, and somehow the air tracks back out and it'll start to drip. And I've had as much as 50 mil, probably a little bit, yeah, about 50 mil come out down the door, down there, into the handle, or if it drips quick enough, it runs down the face of the door, and you end up with a puddle on the floor. It's just a bad design, and they could have cured that by a little drip tray. That's all they needed to do, and I've cured it with that. You can see the magnets underneath. £3. Wife loves it. Shouldn't worry about coming in now and finding water on the floor in the handle. It drips into it. It's only done it another once since I've done it, but I'm sure it'll do it again. And not only that, sometimes when you go up to press it, you might not have cup it in the right position, and it'll drip or run down. Goes into drip tray now. Yeah, other one had a little pull out tray, or it would inset more, so you could stand a cup on it. This doesn't have that. Good bit of kit, bad design on the drip tray, I think. That's my personal opinion, but I've cured it. So anyway, right, let me know in comments if anybody else has the same problem, and if you've got this model and you've got a 3D printer and you're having the same problems, just let me know. I'm not bothered. I'll gladly let you have STL file, and you can print one yourself. I'll tell you what magnets you need. There's not a problem with that. I'll help anybody out. But I hope it's helped some with this video, and please give me a thumbs up, and like and subscribe and notification. It's the video I'm on with next is I'm doing I as mentioned in my previous video, I'm doing a video on my daughter's baby room wardrobe. I'm on with that now because it's done in bits and bats. I have to do most of it outside, and I've been in and out like a rabbit down a hole to try and dodge the rain. But however, I am progressing with it and it will come out with a video. But I just hope everybody that's got one of these doesn't have any problems. But if you do, let me know. So, as I always say, thumbs up. And until next time, for God's sake, be safe and be careful out there. And until next time, bye for now. Bye.